What's up, YouTube? You're watching Members Only, once again with another video. Hit the like button to save yourself some time, and don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get into it. With Will Smith being one of the first successful rappers out of Philly, winning rap's first Grammy, he was the man and you couldn't tell him nothing. Straight out of West Philly. When you're successful, you party and run into all types of people with money. Some people would start hanging with other celebrities. Will had more in common with the fellas back home. One of the fellas was Bucky from JBM, from the Southwest faction. He was Aaron Jones' top earner, moving an incredible amount of bricks a week. His only problem was what to do with all the money that he had coming in. He would throw parties, and he would run into Will, and they would become cool. They would have a good time cracking jokes on people. But when Will cracked a joke on Bucky, nobody laughed. He threatened Will from making a joke about his height. Buck was cool with all the joking, just don't make him the butt of the joke. Buck was a vicious gambler. They used to call him Lucky Bucky, cause he won much more than he lost. He used to ride around the city looking for dice games. Gambling was his high. He once collected over 100 grand at a dice game. They would all play pool at Will's house very often, and you know there would be some gambling involved. One weekend, Buck was down 30 grand, and he would send his men out to grab more money. He was frustrated, and we all know the feeling of being down. It's like you can't think straight. But that 30 wasn't nothing to Buck. His jewelry cost way more than that, by the way. Buck said effing and threw the keys to his custom BM on the pool table. Will threw his Benz keys on the table. They was about to get it in. Will wasn't getting it like Buck, but he was sitting on a crazy rap check during the time. That was his first time seeing real money. He was reckless, throwing money around like it was nothing. His pops even grinding him up for buying multiple cars at once. He would have them all lined up in front of the crib. But Will ended up winning, and Buck stormed out the crib. Will would walk up behind him and give him his car keys, and Buck couldn't believe it because he told Will he would have took his car if he would have won. See, they used to take everything from you gambling and let you walk away with nothing. I've always learned that if you take some money from someone gambling, to always give them something to leave with. Some might call it soft, some may understand, but that's just the respect part. But after Buck saw how Will was carrying it, he told Will if anybody had a problem with Will, they had a problem with him. Be careful how you deal with people because you might just need them in the long run. With Will not taking his car, it might have been one of the best choices Will ever made. Besides Buck coming back for that car, trying to win it back, things would have probably went left. But there was a time where Will owed the IRS a couple millions in taxes, so Uncle Sam came to collect. Will burned through all his cash, so he had to give up everything, the cars, the home, even the pool table he beat Bucky on. Law enforcement had JBM under investigation, and they was coming sooner or later. The FBI had photos of Will riding around in their cars and had them coming in and out of his house. So he definitely was guilty by association. If they really wanted Will, they could have got him. But Will was legit. He wasn't a part of JBM at all. They all had money, and they all was about having a good time. Will even put a couple of Bucky's cars in his name. But with Will finding out that law enforcement tried to connect them to JBM, he had to get low. He already hit rock bottom, and he had to get out to LA, but he just needed the funds, and he knew exactly where to get it from. He told Bucky he needed to hold something, and Bucky gave him 10 grand right on the spot, and told Will if he needed more money, they could just run to the crib. But that's all Will needed. That shows you how much Bucky was getting it. To be riding around with 10 grand as walking around money is different. But how Will treated Bucky when it came to that gambling laws meant a lot to Bucky. So if he didn't look out for Will, it wouldn't have felt right. He couldn't just say no, knowing that Will was one of the few genuine people around him during that time. Will headed to LA, and about 4 or 5 days later, Bucky lost his life. He didn't get a chance to see Will become the man that he is today. Society would call a guy like Bucky a bad guy that destroys communities for his own personal gain. But that 10 grand he gave Will turned into hundreds of people getting jobs and millions donated to charity. And Will tried to get down with the M, but Bucky was like, nah, this ain't your lane. This ain't for you. He looked out for Will telling him that, because if he would have got down with the M, for that short amount of time, there wouldn't have been no Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The M only had like a 5-year run total, with guys taking off the streets after like 2 to 3 years, or even less. So, you had dudes caught up in indictments that didn't even get a chance to see 10 grand. Now, that's the part of the game that they don't talk about. But Bucky was getting so much money, and old head even said it was like he was printing it. All those hustlers out in New York wasn't coming close to Bucky, so do your homework. Philly got some legends, man. It's just a stubborn city. Bucky really the only one from Philly that have an official dock, and that was made by his own people. But yeah, Buck was moving in about like 200 bricks a week. Not selling them wholesale neither. He was breaking them all down. He was breaking them Jones down. Mark Casey was another top earner in JBM. Bucky was just doing a little better than him. And Bucky was known for riding around with 100 to 200 grand in his trunk. Like, that was nothing to him. And he would pull up and be like, what you got in your trunk? That's just how he was rolling, man. Them dudes was getting some serious paper. Like, serious paper. Old head told me that he walked in, Bucky and them, they was counting over half a ticket. It had to be. Like, so much money on the table. Yeah, it's just insane, man. But, you know, that's it for now. Hit the comments, hit the like button, show love. Shout out to all my viewers. Shout out to all my day ones, all my subscribers. If you're new, of course, subscribe. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss out on the content. And, you know, that's it. I'm out.